Hey, everybody. On this edition of Crying in My Car, a podcast for teachers, we're going to talk about my teacher creator trip to St. Jude Children's Hospital. And then we're going to dive into two teachers that started up their own coffee brand. And then a teacher recruitment program is working. So let's get rid of it. And lastly, we are going to talk about an interesting bullying situation. Am I the... you'll have to tune in and see. Crying in My Car starts now. Hey everybody, welcome to Crying in My Car, a podcast for teachers. I'm Devin Siebold. This is James Yan. We're here to hopefully ease that work week stress as a teacher. And also, I hope that you're helping us in the way of rating us 5 stars, sharing, thumbs up, all that good stuff. Let people know, hey, I listen to Crying in My Car. It's one of my favorite teacher podcasts you're going to want to listen in to. Also, don't forget, currently, we're in kind of a little break during the summer, but Board Teachers Comedy Tour is coming back strong for the late summer and the fall and the winter. We got Billings, Montana coming up. We got Bozeman, Montana. That's July 25th and 26th. Missoula, Montana on the 27th, Baton Rouge, Beaumont, Corpus Christi, and McAllen, Texas. That's the 1st through the 4th of August. You're going to want to get those tickets at the Board Teachers Comedy Tour, boardteachers.com for all the upcoming dates. You're going to want to come out. I'm telling you, it's a good time. I'm excited because we're mid-shows. We're doing a lot of work. I had a week off, James.
A whole week?
I had a whole week.
That's crazy.
And I didn't take it.
What did you do?
Well, as you can tell, I'm wearing a St. Jude shirt.
Okay.
I have been a St. Jude ambassador for a while. I've been supporting them through donations for over 15 years.
Bless you.
Yeah, and
even as a teacher.
Even as a teacher,
Woo!
man. Yep.
There you go. All right.
As a teacher, I would donate money to St. Jude, and I obviously support them. I love them. I think they're the best. But
Gotcha.
I went out for a creator summit that they had. Creator Summit / St. Jude Play Live. So what they do is they raise a lot of money on Twitch through streamers.
Okay.
And also they invited a lot of creators this time because there's a lot of content creators like myself that will do stuff to initiate fundraisers and things like that.
That's nice.
Yeah, so I did the push-up challenge on Facebook, and that was a while ago.
No, I don't know. So yeah. So I
I did it a while ago.
Okay.
It was 300 push-ups in a month, or 3,000 actually, and that was amazing. And I raised a lot of money during that. And then obviously when I was there, I did some posts on them.
Okay.
And raised some money as well. And if you go to my Facebook or my Instagram, you can always donate to St. Jude. What I'm going to do, because I'm hype about St. Jude, and I'll tell you about my experience in just a second. But before I get to that, is if teachers are out there thinking, hey, I want to make a donation to St. Jude as well, I want to help out, do that on my page, and I'm going to match up to $500 of whatever you donate.
Hey.
So if you donate $20, I got you.
Okay.
$20.
I like that.
Yeah, and so I really want to, get the word out and do some fundraising for them because I went there, bro.
Yeah.
We got to go to the actual campus / hospital.
Okay.
It was mind-numbing. I mean, just the amount of work that they're putting in. Like, we got to go into the science labs and see, I mean, you're sitting there and there's people on their computer and writing on the window. I mean, like,
they're working.
Sketching out, like, the map of the genes and working on actual cures right there.
Yes.
I mean, like, I'm staring at a guy on his computer and he's got something on his screen that I would never be able to decipher what the heck he was looking at.
Got it.
And I'm staring there like, that could be it.
Yeah.
I'm like, that could be it. And I'm staring at history, you know? And it was mind-blowing, the facts and statistics. You know that cancer had a 4% survival rate when St. Jude first started.
Yes.
And now we're up to 90%.
Come on, man.
90% survival rate.
That's
but
amazing.
They're working beyond, cancer and things. There's a whole bunch of diseases, incurable diseases that they're looking for solutions for, and ways to treat better, more effectively, less, obviously chemo is very strenuous on the body and taxing, and they're trying to get that down, especially children,
Yes, absolutely.
And man, it was really cool. And I want to say, because I'm a teacher, or I was a teacher.
Yes.
It was really awesome. I met a lot of amazing people there.
Okay.
But let me tell you what. Being there was probably 500 creators and streamers there.
That is a lot.
And it wasn't the big, like, million people, 2 million. These were, like, a little lower level. Like, some people had only, like, 10,000 followers.
Okay.
But to me, St. Jude, I don't know how they did it. I don't know who was in charge of it, picked the most compassionate, caring people.
Okay.
Like, it was an honor to be in this room with these people.
Okay.
And let me tell you a resounding theme that I got over and over again.
What was it?
Hey, you're that teacher guy. I was a teacher too.
Yes.
And then another person, oh, I watch all your videos. I'm currently a teacher. Oh, hey, I watch all you. Yeah, I taught for a few years.
Look at that.
And I was like, there's a lot of teachers, former
Yes.
teachers, current teachers.
Yes.
And I was like, man, it's just so, it was so affirming to our career.
Yeah.
These are the people that literally give their most,
Yes.
and we're there, taking up our time during the week.
You work with kids so much. You
Yep.
understand and see them in need. You're like, we got to do something.
Got to do something.
We got to do something.
And that's the thing is
Yeah.
it was so eye-opening. You hear the stories, you cry. I mean,
Absolutely.
I'm going to tell you, man,
You know
like,
me. I'm a...
Yeah,
Whoa.
but I mean, to see the survivors there, to
Yes.
hear about the ones that didn't survive,
Absolutely.
to hear about we got to see the doctors. The doctors came in and told us about their research, and these doctors, it was really cool because they weren't just like, they weren't doctors. They were fired up.
Yes.
Like they were literally
Yes.
like, no, you don't understand. We're doing it. Like
Yeah.
we're saving lives,
Yeah.
And we got to see the campus, we got to see the hospital, we got to see everything,
Okay.
It was really like eye opening,
Okay.
and it was
I could tell because you're very excited. Like,
oh
about
man.
you are.
So
I
we
could
spent
tell.
time in seminars, they showed us like how to raise money, of course. They need money. And but they showed us where it went to. And it's
Okay.
one of those things that you go, yeah, I get it. I mean, they're building 2 new giant campuses and hospitals next to it.
Mm-hmm.
The treatment is just astounding. But not only that, you look at the numbers. They don't. Families pay nothing.
Yes.
Like not for anything.
Yes.
The travel, the food.
That's amazing.
The anything.
Because if you go to the hospital any day for anything,
Right.
the cost is astronomical,
It
bro,
is.
just to have a cold.
Yeah.
To go to an emergency room, man. So
Right.
the fact that families don't have to pay anything and they take care of them, put them up places, whatnot, bro, that means the world to them.
Right. Yeah.
Absolutely.
And I mean, they paid to have me out there, and
Yeah.
they were fantastic hosts. But I mean, it was work too. I
Yeah.
mean, it was like, hey, you got seminars to go to. I mean, it was 7:30 in the morning till 6 o'clock at night.
There you go.
We were learning.
Okay.
And we were experiencing, and
Okay.
we were in the midst of it all. And then we did some live streams. I don't know if anybody caught me, but I was on Twitch and I was decorating a cake.
Oh,
And I was decorating a cake while we were raising money. We raised $10,000.
come on.
Yep. There was 5 teams, and we had to design each layer. We were the 3rd team in, and it was me and a content creator that was a hairdresser. And she was
Okay.
so nice. She was great. I wish I remembered her name. I'd give her a shout out. But she was amazing. And we put together our layer, and it had to be a theme that you see throughout St. Jude. We had just toured the facility.
Okay.
And we did a theme of a brighter future. And so we did like astronauts and stars and like,
okay.
what the future would look like, and it was very hard. I will say I have a whole new respect for cake makers,
Gotcha.
but it was really, really
How
awesome.
much buttercream went into that dream?
A lot.
Okay.
You know that they sell 35 pound tubs of buttercream?
Yeah,
frosting?
I did know that, and don't ask me how I know. Mind your business. I do know that.
It was pretty cool to see all the sugar and the candy go into it, but we built a big old cake and raised some amazing funds. So I mean, honestly, I went there not knowing what to expect. I was invited last year,
Okay.
but I got COVID.
Oh,
And I literally, the day before, I'm about to get on a flight the
couldn't
next
go.
day, and
Yeah.
I was like, man, I don't feel good. And you can't go with COVID
No.
to, St. Jude's Hospital. So I couldn't do it last year. I was so pumped when they sent the email again this year, and they were like, Devin, we want you to come. And I was like, I'm there. And it was my week off, and I was anticipating having a week
Okay.
down, but I said, you know what? the kids need me.
And I love
the cancer don't take a week off.
It sure does not, man. And thank you for doing that, by the way, if no one tells you that. And I love the fact they invited content creators because they're going to come back just like you. They're going to be so pumped up. No matter what their platform is, they're going to put that out there.
Yeah.
They're going to bring awareness to, hey, please donate to such a worthwhile cause.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's
truly
and it should be that.
Yeah, man.
But,
absolutely.
I do have a funny story being a comedian.
Okay.
So after the whole campus tour, you know, we see it all and we're pumped and, you know, this is awesome. We're about to get on the buses and they go, by the way, you know, we do have a St. Jude gift shop. And I was like, perfect. Yeah. I want, you know, some T-shirts. I want some merch, you know, and you're going to buy it. All the proceeds go to the hospital. And I walk in, they got so much stuff. And I'm like, I'm looking around. I'm like, man, this is awesome. And I picked up a few shirts and they were like, you know, I mean, what you expect to pay in a gift shop. There was like $28 for a shirt.
Yeah.
And I picked up this shirt. It was like $28.
I like that one a lot, by the way.
I like it.
Yeah.
And I picked up a few shirts off the rack. But there wasn't a lot of 2X. You know, I'm a big guy.
Yes.
And I grabbed, you know, I was, oh, this one's in 2X, $28, 2X, $20. And I got like, you know, 2 or 3 or 4 shirts. And I go to check out and I put it up there. And she's like, oh, she goes, these are some good choices. I said, yeah. I said, you know, I saw a lot of other ones I wanted, but you didn't really have 2X sizes. And she goes, we have an entire rack of 2X that's all on clearance right now for $10. And I was like, you do? And I turned around and there was like a whole bunch of 2X shirts. And I was like, well, I'm going to take these. And I put them back, put them on. And she goes, so do you want to put the other ones back? And I was like, and literally, like, there's a child being pushed in a stroller right behind me, and I'm like,
Sarah McLachlan singing "In the Arms of." You can't put it back.
I'll take them all. I'll take them all. Actually,
in
fact, I want more.
More.
So
that's a dilemma. You can't just.
But it's funny because when I walked in today, he goes, "You have a lot of St. Jude shirts all of a sudden."
And I said, say that.
Actually, I have an entire wardrobe of St. Jude shirts. So, but you know what?
Goes to a good cause.
Goes to the cause.
Yes,
goes to the cause. So, you know, and that's just something too. You know, you don't have to just donate. You can go on. They do sell stuff. If you want a St. Jude shirt, go buy a St. Jude shirt and give them the $28 or whatever, the shipping, and then you get a shirt. And but
I wish I was just there because I know she probably asked in a way that lets you know don't do it. Sir, would you like to take these back, you heartless monster?
I felt great though supporting the cause. It didn't matter. It was blink of an eye, you know.
There you go. Man.
But
that's great though.
I mean, and I'll tell you another story too. So the whole thing always takes place in Memphis. That's where the hospital is.
Yeah.
We stayed at the Peabody in Memphis, which is like the really nice hotel.
Yeah.
And they rented out basically the whole thing. And, you know, and they had all the stuff happening there. Have you been to a Peabody before?
I don't think I have.
Do you know the lure of it?
No.
You don't know the lure?
I do not know the lure.
I didn't know the lure either. It's historic.
Okay.
But it's like they have a thing with the ducks.
I was going to ask, isn't it the Duck
It
Hotel?
is the Duck.
Yeah, okay,
Yeah,
gotcha.
do you know about the ducks?
I don't.
So they actually, every single morning, will have a duck master come down the elevator with ducks full of in the elevator. And I'm telling you, people line the red carpet. It is, I mean, all of a sudden, 200 people fill the lobby. Looking on the balcony over top, I have video of it. It's amazing. And the duck master comes down the elevator with the ducks, and he is, I mean, mic'd up. He's got his top hat on, his cane, and he's like, all right, ducks, let's put on a show. And the ducks come out, and they are posing. They're like, they're all together.
What?
They're
taking
trained.
selfies?
Fully trained.
Gotcha.
And they walk down, stop, get some photos, and then they go into the fountain in the middle, in the heart of the lobby.
Got it.
And they stay in the lobby until 5 or 6 p.m. You can go up and see all the ducks, you know. And then at the end of it, they take the stairs and they fold the stairs down, and the guy comes out with his top hat and cane and says, time to go back, ducks. And they come out and then they pose for pictures, get right back on the elevator and go all the way up, and they live on the roof in like a big duck habitat.
So what you're saying is these ducks live better than most teachers.
Way better. Way better. Yeah. Yeah, but
Gotcha.
it was something that I thought would be lame, but
No,
when I
that's
saw
pretty
it,
cool.
the kids were lighting up, you
Of
know,
course.
and the adults were. It was like a thing, and of course the merchandise was all duck related, and then I went into the merch store and I bought a bunch of duck stuff,
Yeah.
and they're like, "Are you sure you don't want this one?" And then I looked outside, there's a baby duck, and I was like, "Oh no!" I said, "I'll just buy it all." Like,
all of it, just all of it.
yeah, but I literally bought a ton of like duck merch too.
So you went on a trip and now you're like $50,000 in debt.
pretty much, pretty much. But it was all worth it, man.
No,
It
that's
was,
awesome. No, honestly, man, that's really cool.
It was really cool. It also made me want to do streaming. Like these Twitch streamers, like they raise a lot of money. And
you know what? It's funny because of all the content that you've made, why have you not streamed?
I don't know. I even play video games all the
Yeah,
time.
you do.
Yeah.
You love video games.
So I don't know. I might do it.
Why not?
Stay tuned for an update. Might see just because, and it's interesting because a lot of the Twitch streamers, they were like, yeah, I overheard them, you know, and they're like, no, I don't make any money on this, you know, but they raised for St. Jude. There was one there that raised $500,000, and they were all like $10,000, $20,000, $50,000. One of them just cleared $1 million. Like, and that's the thing is they make almost no money.
But they can raise money.
But they can raise money.
Gotcha.
And you do it by doing things online. Like you're like, you know, if you donate $10 right now, I'm going to slap James. And trust me, it'd be like 10, 10, 10. And I'd be like,
my wife would be
all
the
right.
biggest one. I got $10 million.
You're like, not only am I slapped, but I just got a notification of an overdraft.
Right, overdraft.
But
That's
yeah,
funny.
man, it was honestly,
funny.
and I hope, you know, I want to say this last thing before we go on to the teachers and news. I hope that teachers get involved not only just by donating, but you know, there's challenges online that St. Jude has where you do push-ups and your friends donate, and you say, look, I'm doing a push-up challenge, I'm doing a walking challenge, I'm doing a this challenge, and you do the challenges and people donate. So I'm not even looking for the credit. I don't even need to go back there next year and go, hey, look, I raised $20,000. If you can raise $100 on your own, you know, that helps too.
Yes.
You know, take credit for it yourself. Make it, you know, get your friends involved, and who knows, maybe I'll see you next year at the Creator Summit. That'd be really cool to see some more teachers there than there already were. Maybe you'll get invited next year.
I will, man.
Would you be willing to do a challenge?
Absolutely.
Yeah, not the push-up one.
Well, it's funny you say that because, you know, I've been on a health journey for a while.
You
man.
have.
I would love to do something like that.
Yeah, because you get so much response when you post your before and after. Dude, if you did a challenge and said, hey, I'm still losing weight, I'm still pushing, can you guys give me $5 or $10 towards St. Jude?
I will do it.
Yeah.
I make you that promise.
Let's make that happen.
I'll do it. I'll do it.
And I'll match some of that too.
There
as
you
well.
go,
Yeah,
man.
so
I'm
I'll
not
get
going
you
to the gift shop, but yeah, I'm good.
Right. I'm telling you, next year we're going to be all like just full on hat St. Jude. I'll have hockey gloves St. Jude. I'll be like, welcome back to the. Yeah.
Is James wearing scrubs that say St. Jude?
How did you even get those?
that? Yeah.
All right, let's jump into the teachers of the news, my friend. So I want to start off with, though, a story out of Iran.
Okay.
So I was, you know, Iran has Iran, however you want to say it. Turns out the Teachers Association in Iran is dealing with some of the same stuff. Apparently, the Coordination Council of Iranian Teachers Trade Association, if there's ever a need to shorten something, has called for a nationwide rally on Thursday to address the education crisis. Now, here's the interesting thing. Reading about this, I was like, can relate. The council statement says mismanagement and lack of foresight by officials with academic decline, the educational exclusion of hundreds of thousands of children, dwindling student motivation, and commercialization of education. And they're fighting against all that. And I'm like, sounds familiar.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes we think we don't have anything in common with other countries, other people. It sounds like we have a lot in common when it comes to teachers. And they have protested for better pay. Now, here's the difference in their country versus our country. Over there, the Iranian government has pushed back, and they have said that they are going to summon detention, imprison, and basically stop them from doing it. They have said, okay, do it, and they're fighting back. So facing threats of imprisonment, they're still going to go ahead and protest.
Because what's the alternative?
Yeah, I mean,
what's the alternative?
Right. So they are apparently still going to go to the Capitol. They're going to the Planning and Budget Organization of Tehran. They're going to march on all these different locations and demand better working conditions, better motivate. Interesting that their one complaint there was dwindling student motivation.
The kids are like, meh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I mean, protesting that to the government is not really something I would think. I would think maybe you go to the parents.
But it sounds like something that we don't know.
Okay, this next one. Bedford County School Board has sued a parent for $600,000 over disputes of her son's special needs education plan. This is an interesting one. They are suing the parent. You almost never, it's normally the other way around.
I never heard
But
this.
apparently, this parent has been verbally abusing and harassing the school staff for 3 years with excessive communication, using profane language, threatening teachers and administration, and apparently documenting all the alleged offenses that have happened. It all regards to the son's IEP and saying that the school is not following it. So he says that he's advocating and said he would never did all these, statements with malicious intent, but he said he was instead advocating for them to follow the IEP. Apparently, the school does not provide direct reading instructions or accommodated notes for his son, among other items that are in the IEP.
Okay.
I mean, they're supposed to.
Yeah, absolutely.
But apparently he has filed numerous complaints, went to the Virginia Department of Education, and the Virginia Department of Education did find that the district was in non-compliance with certain aspects of the plan. In order to silence him, they have filed a $600,000 lawsuit back against him. Imagine filing a $600,000 lawsuit against a parent. How much is it going to cost you for the lawyers? To do this.
Yeah.
How much is it going to cost you for getting this trial ready? How much time? How much effort? How much? When you could have just followed the plan. I mean,
and here's the thing: as a parent hearing this story, I don't know all of the stipulations of that program, but here's what it sounds like to me. Parent has a kid, has a special need, has a plan they're supposed to follow, and he gets frustrated because they're not doing it.
Right.
So when you get frustrated as a parent, when it keeps happening to your child, only thing you want to do is protect your child.
Yeah.
Only thing you want is your child to be treated like everybody else. So you get frustrated. And when you get frustrated, you're going to get emotional. And sometimes you're emotional, you might use some colorful language.
That's the hardest part,
Yes.
though, is as a parent,
Yes.
it's your child. I get it. Mm-hmm. But, man, you got to keep the professionalism there.
That's easy to say.
I know it's so
easy
hard.
to say.
I mean,
yeah.
as a dad who
Yes.
has a lot of issues with having custody and with my ex,
Yes.
there are a lot of times that I type something and I go, never mind, I got to delete that. You have to remain professional, have to remain calm.
Yes.
And this is one of those instances where I think he maybe stepped over the line, but a $600,000 lawsuit, filing emergency injunctions to stop him from using harassing language against the school staff. They're seeking to dismiss the emergency injunction, obviously, the guy is. But, again, this is a bigger problem.
Yeah, it is.
We don't have the support staff to follow these IEP plans. How do you have, this is the thing that I've always blew my mind. I've sat in plenty of meetings where we have the IEP paperwork in front of us.
Yes.
And there are 7 or 8 other people in the room. Mm-hmm. And we have these IEP specialists. We have this person that designed this, and we have to fill out all this paperwork, and all this paperwork has to go through the computer system and the county and then the district. You have people that design the paperwork. You have people that design the computer program. You have people that are trying to follow all these laws and get all this rhetoric. Lawyers had to design that entire thing.
Understood.
You have people sitting in the room that have to be there. All these signatures have to be on the list. But when it comes to the execution, we throw it onto one person. And sometimes there's not enough resources to even get it right. You could try,
Yeah.
but the state needs to be providing these additional resources. Okay, you're making us sign this paper. You're making the school follow these guidelines, but you're not giving them the tools needed to succeed.
That's right.
When it comes to
you want me to swim, but you're
execution.
going to tie my hands behind my back.
Yep, every time.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, there's obviously this parent has a right to, feel the way they do and go to obviously the Virginia Department of Education sided with him. The handling of it could have been done a little bit better, but $600,000 lawsuit instead of going, oh, you know what? The Virginia DOE said that we should, and you say we should, and it's in the paperwork, and we obviously haven't been. Maybe we should do something before it gets to a point
where we sue
that a dad is that livid. But come on,
That's steep too. $600,000 is steep.
I hope that it opens some eyes and keeps it from happening
again.
I hope they start looking at everybody's paperwork and go, hey, you know what? Maybe we need to double check that. Maybe before we get to the harassing parent, we need to make sure we're crossing our T's, dotting our I's, and making it happen.
There you go.
We'll see.
I hope he's riled up other parents.
That's the thing. I hope it empowers.
Wait a minute. Yeah, wait a minute.
All right. Next one. Former teachers venture into River Mill Coffee Company. I love seeing stuff like this. I put this down because I think that it's the ideal direction that they need to go. There are teachers that left and started their own business in 2021. It's interesting that a lot of teachers left and started in 2021. I think that
I wonder why.
I think the pandemic definitely pushed a lot of people to go, what was that other passion I had?
That's so bad. That's great, by the way. That's true.
But true. This particular group, Rachel Barlow, Heather Veik, V-E-I-K, I hope I'm saying Veik, have started their own coffee company, River Mills Coffee Company, and they were elementary school teachers for 10 years before they joined forces to start it. So if you're a teacher,
good for them,
and you're in the area, it looks like it's from the Norfolk News. So if you're around that area and you see River Mills Coffee Company, go support the other teachers. Support their business, support their business venture. I'm all about supporting small business, but I'm also I like knowing that, that's a teacher-ran business. I got to help them out. I don't want them back in the classroom. I got to keep them out.
I can imagine when you go order your coffee from them and you're really polite, gold star, because they're elementary.
It would be so funny if you're like, yeah, I'm a teacher too. And they're like, oh, yeah, okay, well, here's your cup. And you're like, it's just grounds. And they're like, yeah, you need it. Yeah. Just suck on them.
You walk up, I'd like to order. I need you to raise a hand first. Wait to be called on.
All right.
God bless them.
James, I got a back-to-back here.
Uh-oh.
I got two stories that I think are so funny because I saw them literally next to each other when I looked this up.
Okay.
Teacher prep program sees encouraging growth. New federal data has revealed. So during the pandemic, we know that teacher enrollment, started to drop off.
Yeah.
So these teacher prep programs that we've talked about many times on here have started to pop up. There are 40 states that are currently using them, and they're actually seeing an enrollment change in current teachers. We're seeing green across the board. The only one going down is Montana and Minnesota. Yeah, I don't know why Montana and Minnesota are messing it up, but the other one's all green, which is good. So anyways, new federal data has come out and said that, look, it's looking optimistic. They said that enrollment in teacher prep programs has grown 12% nationally, 46,000 more candidates in these prep programs to get new teachers into the classroom through alternative avenues. 9 states lead the pack, Arkansas, Delaware, Florida, Ohio, Louisiana, Pennsylvania, Ohio, Rhode Island, South Carolina, and the highest growth overall, Maryland, and they are seeing upswings across the board, even surprising experts on what they've actually done. So that's impressive. Only 11 states saw continued declines, mostly in the north. I think that's just because a lot of Northerners moved south. Post-pandemic, I mean, our population boomed in Florida. So
they're still coming. They're still coming.
So all these different teacher residencies, paying student teachers. We talked about that. They said it's all working.
Gotcha.
All right.
Because I was going to ask what the programs were, what they entail, but more money seems to always work.
Money, alternative ways to certification. You don't have to go back and get a 4-year degree. Maybe you go into a prep program instead. Okay. Things like that. All right. On to the next one. This one's out of England. Almost Beyond Belief is the title of it. It says, they are axing teacher recruitment schemes and going to worsen the crisis despite the fact that they over-delivered on the target workers. So the same thing happened over in the UK.
Yeah.
They started up the recruitment programs, and would you guess what happened, James?
It worked?
It worked. And would you guess what then happened?
Had too many teachers?
The government decided to stop funding it.
Because it worked.
Isn't that wild? It says the much praised program has been axed, and it says that the outcry is already beginning. It was the career change program, and they were complaining that there will barely be anyone left to teach, and all of a sudden they actually had a big influx of teachers. They said it over-delivered on the number.
Yeah.
And then apparently they decided that they were going to cut the program, and they are going to cut all the funding from it. They are not going to renew the contract, and they are not going to recruit any more teachers, despite the fact that the runners of the program say we're still getting applications. They won't be able to see through those applications because they have cut the program.
Yep. Nope. Don't answer the phone. Nope. Put that phone down. Nope.
And interestingly enough, it says 10 out of 17 secondary subjects are likely to have a teacher shortage this coming year. But they have stopped officially recruiting anybody to fill the teacher shortage.
Do they say why? Like, that decision was made, or I'm curious just to know.
Interestingly enough, it doesn't even seem like it's a lot of money, because it says that they have apparently the funding for it is 1.7 million pounds. It's in the UK. So
that's not a huge.
That's like $4 billion. I don't know.
That's
a
lot of money. But yeah, that's a lot of money. But it's not an astronomical amount.
Small.
Yeah.
I mean, we're looking at the grand scheme of things. But the interesting thing enough is that again, and I just did a video on this with the Ann Arbor teachers. Apparently, there is a budget shortfall for the Department of Education in the UK of $1.5 billion.
That's a lot.
And it says they're blaming it on the funds needed to meet teacher pay raises. This has happened over and over again.
Yeah.
We give the teachers pay raises they need, and then later on the budget is short, and we go, those darn teachers, you're giving them something they haven't got in years.
Yes.
And that is needed for cost of living adjustments. I was always blown away. You know, one of the things that I always found so frustrating is I was given a paper on my first day hired as a teacher, and it showed my pay every single year going up.
Yeah.
And then the very first year, I go, so I get paid more money this year. And they go, oh, no. And I go, what you mean? You handed me a paper that said I go from here to here. And they said, yeah, we froze the pay. And it's like, and it was froze for 5 years, James. 5 years, I didn't get a single increase on anything. So then you unfreeze it and you go, oh, you go to number 6, right?
Yeah.
No, you don't go to number 6. And then not only that, but I don't think we ever abided by that paper.
Never.
That was what was negotiated. That was what was there. And then later on, you know, that 6th year, I go, oh, okay, so pay's no longer frozen? You're getting a raise? And they go, yeah, sure. And then they go, oh, look at that. We're over budget. We're going to have to fire people.
Yeah.
And it's like,
what?
You had 5 years to get it together.
Yes.
You know the money.
Yeah.
It doesn't sneak up on you.
No, it didn't. So thanks.
Yeah, so thanks. So
thanks.
anyways, I just find it so ironic that a massive success story. Look, it's working. And then right under that, we're cutting it. And it's like
worked a little too well.
Too well. God
bless, man. God.
You almost wonder if it's like malicious intent. Like, and I know this sounds weird, but so like in the state of Florida, for example, we have a current attack on the unions. And if union enrollment gets below a certain number, the unions have to disband. Well, if you have teacher recruitment programs that are overly working, doing better than before, and now you have a teachers union growing
and getting more power,
then I don't want to be the conspiracy guy, but could it be something where you go, oh, yeah, we didn't actually want it to work.
Yeah.
We just wanted it to look good on paper that we were trying something.
Yeah, but now that
that it's working and it's hurting our other plan to disband the unions, bye.
It's food for thought.
It's something to think about.
There you go.
All right, I want to jump into this last thing. This last thing it might take a little bit of time.
Okay.
it was in the news, but it was AITA. Am I the blank for doing something? Mm-hmm. And man, it stirred some emotions in me.
Okay.
And made me think about some of the things that I've been through, and maybe will bring some memories to you
For
as
me,
well.
okay, got it.
So,
Am I the?
yeah, am I the blank? So this parent writes in and says, look, I have a daughter. My daughter is a close group of friends with 5 other girls, and they do everything together. They sat in the same seat every single lesson. They're best friends. They sit all at the same table.
Okay.
Well, there is another girl in the class, and we're going to call her Winnie. That's what she says, Winnie.
Winnie. Okay.
Yep, Winnie. Obviously, this is British. And it says, once Winnie came to sit at my daughter's table when one of her friends were sick, and that day Winnie constantly knocked my daughter's books and pens off the table, borrowed her stationery, stained her highlighter with black ink, and was even found with my daughter's pens in her pocket later. One morning, Winnie came to school crying nonstop. The teacher was very sympathetic and asked if there was anything she could do to help. Winnie said she wanted my daughter removed from her seat so she could have it, and the teacher agreed.
Nah.
Now, wait, I'm not to the AITA part yet. So apparently there's only empty seats left. She ends up sitting in the back of the corner, no longer with her friends. She looks like a delinquent. She's with 2 older boys who have been held back. Well, first off, I hate to say it, but that's a problem when you have the kids that have been held back in the back corner.
In the back corner.
You're setting them up, but that's beside the point.
You're setting them up for failure.
Yeah. That's not part of it.
Okay,
just
okay,
observation.
Right. You are the ATA.
Yeah. The teacher is in that one.
Yeah.
So the teacher refused to give my daughter a real explanation for why she had to move seats. Instead, said some generic stuff about being kind for those less fortunate. Interesting.
Wait.
Daughter cried for a week straight. 7 months of being isolated with her friends. She's starting high school next year. She wishes she had a closer relationship with them. Well, finally, we get to why Winnie has special treatment. Okay. Winnie had confided in the daughter's friends that apparently she has been in foster care because her parents OD'd. Okay. And that is why the school has been treating her so preferential. The teacher has been on her side, the admin has been on her side, the friends have been on her side, and her daughter has been left out.
Yes.
Well, she says, AITA for telling the teachers that my daughter's bully, being a foster kid, isn't an excuse for being a brat.
May I answer?
Yes, you may. Okay. I will give my 2 cents after you.
Okay, understood.
Go ahead.
Now
I will sip my tea while you go.
Please do. I understand that this young lady has been through a lot at a young age, and she probably has some issues that she has to address. I'll say that. But to take one child and make their life significantly harder to appease her doesn't seem like you're solving the problem. It seems like
creating a new one. Maybe.
You're creating a new one. That's what my point. There could have been another way, a workaround around it. Like, no, I'm not going to take her seat from her, but maybe I can move the classroom around where we can have you included in that group as well.
And the other 2 that are in the back.
Yeah. But that's another thing. That's another. Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead. I think as teachers, we always want to see the best.
Yes.
And we always want to find when something's not right, when something is wrong, we look for a deeper reason that something's wrong.
Yes.
And we try to justify the wrong by finding a compassionate way about the problem. Mm-hmm. And I think it doesn't work sometimes all the time. Now, I'm not going to say this particular instance, but sometimes I see where a teacher on Reddit or a teacher on Facebook will go, I'm not getting any work out of this student. Mm-hmm. And a lot of teachers jump in and go, oh, it's deep-seated stuff. They're probably this. They're probably that. You don't know what the home life is like. You don't know. We're always trying to create a compassionate
scenario,
hero story, a hero way out. Mm-hmm. And sometimes there's not a hero. Yeah. Sometimes this is not an easy way to say it, but sometimes kids are just brats. You know,
Yes.
there are brats in the world.
Yes.
There, you know, and again,
And I say that knowing that my child sometimes was a brat. Yes,
Yeah.
I know. I know that. Yeah,
Yep, and-
I understand that.
Yep, and,
yeah.
and that's the thing. Is my child too. My child has acted out. I talked about it on the TOD podcast, and all it was I wasn't doing my job. You know, and people can say, well, you know, they came from it was a divorced home.
Yes.
You know, but when I stepped it up, guess what? The kid got back on track.
Yeah.
Model Citizen Award. You know,
Yes.
it was me. It wasn't the situation that we were in. It wasn't some deep seated this, deep seated that. And sometimes I think we go, oh, they need therapy, they need deep seated this, they need to reconcile. And sometimes it's more on the surface than we think. Sometimes it's just there.
Yeah.
It just exists in the
Yeah.
way it exists.
There's no long drawn out story. It's this.
Yeah.
This is what it is.
And
yeah.
but we keep trying to put a different mask on the situation.
Yes.
And I mean, I don't think that this parent is entirely wrong.
I don't.
In the sense that
I don't either.
There are concessions that have been made, and again, what this child went through is terrible. You know, and you don't really want to be negative towards the child, but we also don't need to be negative towards another child.
Yes.
And
you just created a new problem for another child.
Right.
You've just taken the problem from this and moved it over here.
Right.
Yeah.
Instead of creating a teachable moment and
Yeah.
going, hey, look, I realize what you went through, and it's very traumatic, very severe, you know, and but this is how my classroom works. Let's see if we can make some accommodations to help you out.
Yeah.
But if we can't, then unfortunately, it's just part of
Gotcha.
the equation.
Gotcha.
Life sometimes doesn't have a way out. It has stuff that you have to confront.
You have to.
And you gotta kind of go with it. But
Yeah.
I don't know. I would love other teachers' responses. I just, in my eyes, when I read this, I was like, man, I've seen so many stories like this where teachers want to be the white knight that rides in on the horse. And sometimes there's no dragon to slay. We think that there's a dragon and there's no dragon.
And I want to be clear. I'm not saying the teacher's the bad guy, because I'm thinking in my mind, that teacher thinks I'm doing a good thing. I really am. I'm helping this little girl, which you are, but you just really just made life so much more worse.
But also the two kids that failed being isolated in the back.
Yeah, that's another problem.
Maybe you are the bad guy.
Yeah.
They need to be up front.
Yeah.
You got to get it. That's the ones that you got to help get through it. Anyways.
But I have a feeling that people are going to comment a lot on this one.
And that's fine. I welcome comments. And again, we're not infallible. I consider myself no authority in the teaching world. I just offer my own opinions as a parent, as a teacher, things that I've seen.
Yeah.
These are just opinions.
Yeah.
They may be right. They may not be right.
True.
Yeah.
I have 4 kids and I'm not a parenting expert.
No.
Okay,
not at all.
No.
I see your kids all the time, and I'm like, he didn't do this right.
Thank you.
I'm just playing. But James, I'll tell the people how they can find you, my friend.
You guys can find me on Facebook and Instagram, James Yon, comedian, YON. And I keep getting, thank you so much. I keep getting teacher requests to follow me, and I know it's you guys because all your accounts are private. So thank you again.
And then you accept it, and there's tons of pictures of them with red Solo cups.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, I get it. I get it.
Shirts that say, don't tell my principal. Yeah, I love that. Thank you, guys.
So, and thank you all for supporting DevinComedy.com for upcoming tour dates. Don't forget, I will come to your school and speak there. You just got to message me. TeachersNeedLaughter.com is the way to see all of my promo
You made it seem
for
like
that.
a threat. I will come to your school. Okay.
TeachersNeedLaughter.com if you want to book me for speaking. August is almost full, but there's still a few dates there.
Nice.
I'd love to come out, and don't forget Board Teachers Comedy Tour. A lot of tour dates coming up, and they sell out quick. Get those tickets, boardteachers.com.
Okay.
Thank you so much. We'll be back next week with more Crying in My Car, a podcast for teachers. Thanks again. There might be a clip up there. There might be a clip down there. If it's got our face, if it's other people's stuff, come back. Don't click on that. But us suggested things. That's us crying in my car. Devin Siebold, James Yon, Board Teachers. Watch. New trailer for Indiana Jones. No, don't do that. Don't do that.